1-point game. Mashburn drives past McLean. The inside pass picked off. Weber making the steal. Washington looking for the lead. And they pass through the hands of McLean, but he recovers in time to score.
McLean beating Mashburn back that time. Mashburn did holler for help, wanting someone to pick his man up.
5 straight points for the Bullets, a 1-point lead. 5:50 for the quarter. Popeye Jones, wide open.
Oh, that's just great execution. Did you see the execution with the offense that time? They spread the floor. The spacing was good. The patience was there. Movement of the ball. Very, very good job.
Weber doubled up.
You see how we talked about him recognizing double teams and handling it? You saw Weber do it right there.
And now he gets the rebound. Gets checked by Williams. Skiles. Lorenzo Williams forced him to miss that one, and now it's Kidd out on a strong push. Jackson to the hoop with a layup.
Lorenzo Williams made Skiles miss that shot at the other end. He made him put it up high on the glass. So once again, Williams triggering that action at the offensive end for the Mavericks with play at the defensive end.
5 minutes left in the quarter. McLean, Skiles leaves it for Weber, who's wide open. So far for Chris Weber. Mavericks looking to extend on the 3-point lead. Inside to Mashburn on the reverse and a foul.
Jim, this is the loosest and the most relaxed I've seen the Mavericks at home this year. It's Kidd with the ball. Watch him get the interior feed off of the dribble to Mashburn. He comes up on the other side and gets it to go. Mavericks very relaxed. They're loose tonight. We've seen this on the road, but they've been a little tight at home, I think. I think it's the crowd.
10 points for Mashburn already. The Mavericks in front by 6. This equals their largest here in the early going.
But where's the energy coming from? Who's driving the motor? I mean, who's supplying that? That's Kidd.
Chapman lost his footing, 10 to shoot. McLean, Weber rolling to the hoop. Tip not there either. McLean with the offensive rebound, and Weber finally cleans it up. Second basket for Weber. He's got 5.
He's got the jumper right there if he wants.
Mashburn draws the foul instead, and the basket counts.
He's on a pretty good roll right now. You talk about rhythm in an athlete. Look, between his legs, left hand. He's coming left again. You think he doesn't like to go to his left, shoot with that right hand? There it is. That's third time you've seen him do that. Here he goes again. Second look at it. Great touch. Great pair of hands.
Mashburn shooting for his 13th point already. Mavericks in front by 7. Skiles works around a Duckworth screen. Weber against Popeye Jones. And a foul called on Lorenzo Williams as Duckworth had him back in pretty deep.
Williams foul on him. When Duckworth gets that deep, Williams at 6'9", 200 pounds. Duckworth at 7 foot, 285. You're gonna have problems.
Well, you know, this is what I said earlier, Bob. Every night he's giving away that kind of size almost.
Yep.
10-2 run for the Mavericks. Chapman with a boomerang shot right back to the hoop.
Oh, what a pass!
Mashburn finishes with the slam.
Oh, there's the energy. Guy ought to be doing a battery commercial.
Chapman comes up shooting. Rex Chapman. 4 points for him. Missed steal in the post by Chapman. Jackson drops it for Williams. Lorenzo with his first 2.
It is infectious. Give the ball to the open man. Play the game hard and play it together. You'd be amazed how many good things will happen.
Skiles for 3. First 3 points tonight for Skiles. He has a 3-point percentage of 44% this year.
And that's not unusual. He can shoot it. He's always been able to shoot it.
Mashburn driving on Chaney, who's on a handoff or a pass on the inside, broken up by Washington, and it's out of bounds to Dallas after this timeout. Good hustle by Skiles, unable to save it though. 4-point lead for the Mavericks.
You can meet Popeye Jones and Doug Smith.
Tarpley has come on for the Mavericks.
Tarpley into the game.
Mavericks shooting at a very impressive 63%, but why? When teams shoot well, they pass the ball well. They already have 9 assists.
And another illegal defense whistled against Washington. This one's on Jawan.
Backed off Tarpley too far, down below the free throw line with Tarpley above the top of the circle.
Jackson drills the free throw. Jim Jackson with 7. The Mavericks in front by 5. 2:43 left. In this opening quarter, Mashburn. And they send red shirts at him. Now Mashburn takes it out all the way to the hoop. Not there. Rebound to Howard.
Good move. He really got a good shot. Took good care of the ball.
Chapman off the pull-up. Right down the pipe. Rex Chapman.
He can shoot it. He can jump. And he has a good quick release.
Entry pass Jackson. Turnaround shot. Rebound Howard.
Skiles wanting the basketball so he can run the half-court game. This unit in here right now runs the floor a little bit better. They're a little bit more athletic with Cheney in the ball game.
Cheney guarded by Mashburn. He comes up shooting. It's a one-point game. Albert Cheney with his first 2.
Jim, there's been a lot of talk about Cheney this year. He's playing very, very well. They're very high on him.
Chapman on the miss steal. Jackson to the hoop. Drops it for Mashburn. Underneath the Popeye. Popeye Jones hits that fade away.
Moving the ball around, aren't they? Playing pretty well, shooting that well, and they're only up 3.
Skiles gives it up to Chapman. 4-3. Kidd with a rebound. Kidd slips it into Tarpley.
You see him use his body, see him step around the defensive man, make that little bounce pass into Tarpley.
He makes it look too easy.
Yeah, I tell you what, he can't put a price on all the things he does.
Fade away by Cheney. Tarpley with a rebound. Ahead to Kidd. Up court to Jones. Beautiful pass. Popeye with the hoop and the foul.
That's the he I was talking about, folks. Jason Kidd.
Now Albert Cheney is first to 15 now. The Mavericks had the penalty for the rest of the
Look at the touch on this pass.
Tarpley with a rebound. Yeah, never put it down again. Kidd just looked up the floor right away as soon as he got it. Had he put it down, one dribble would enable the defensive man to get there.
9 points for Popeye. The Mavericks have an 8-point lead.
Mr. Entertainment. That's what we'll start calling Jason Kidd. Jones 4 rebounds, 4 or 5 field goals.
Butler has come on, number 32, gets it inside to Howard. Tarpley chopped it away from him. Jawan Howard with a tip dunk. Weber. Mavericks in a bit of a hurry. I think they've got their eye on a 2-for-1 deal here. Maybe not. Kidd pulls it out.
They did with the opening tip.
14 to shoot.
3 seconds.
Jackson lost it in a crowd and then takes the foul.
Foul by Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson with his first.
He is first.
We talked about Chris Webber working the offensive glass. He gets a lot of things done inside, and there's one of them. I mean, he just has a great pair of hands, outstanding hands. And he's a good rebounder, excellent offensive rebounder, and you saw what he can do when he's in tight to the basket. Skiles stayed in the backcourt, but watching the clock all the way.
He knew how much time he had.
They say he's one of the smartest players in the league.
Both of those guys in that matchup. Skiles turning on Kidd. Kidd blocks it with 3 seconds left. Kidd tracks it down. Ahead to Jackson. He shoots it in. Good.
Look at the smile on Jason Kidd's face.
What a way to close out the first quarter.
Watch the clock now. Jason Kidd with the ball. Recognizes the time, gives it up. Jackson gets rid of it before the clock goes off. There it is. That's beautiful.
And after one, the Mavericks lead by 8.
That's 13 assists by the Mavericks in the first period. Jason Kidd with 6. Watch the block. Watch the recovery. Watch the pass to Jackson and the shot just before the end of the period.
And the Mavericks with an 8-point lead as the second quarter gets underway. Tarpley on the turnaround. There they whistle.
Now
Before the shot, a foul on Weber.
Chris Weber.
He almost got that one. Tarpley did to go that time.
First period stats brought to you by
Weber with his second foul. First team foul, of course.
Here's to the Mavericks.
Mavericks with the ball, sideline out of bounds, in front by 8. Kidd, Tarpley. Lucius Harris is on. Jason Kidd shoots. That's a 2. And the rebound taken down by Butler. Doug Overton, number 14, running the show right now for Washington. Kidd guarding him. Overton off the drive. Chopped away and out of bounds. Last touch by the Mavericks.
Boy, had some great quickness, doesn't he? Overton just really exploded that time to his right. Overton, number 14, played a year of pro basketball in Australia, but he has great quickness.
Juwan Howard off the inbound.
Juwan Howard.
Howard kind of turns that ball in the air just before he releases it. He gets the hand under it. It's not under it initially.
And a quick foul called on the rook right there. Juwan Howard came out to put pressure on Tarpley. Picks up his first foul. 2 team fouls against Washington.
17 foul. Kevin Duckworth.
You see Howard there on Tarpley. And the thing I want to tell you about those 2 guys is that Juwan Howard is one of only 5 players in Michigan history to score 1,500 points, get 700 career rebounds. The other 4, one of them standing right there, Roy Tarpley. The other 3, Bill Bunton, Glenn Rice still playing, and of course Rudy Tomjanovich, the coach of the Houston Rockets.
Off the inbounds, Mashburn out to Dumas, who has come on. And now Tarpley. The long rebound to Harris. Dumas for 3. Bullets have it. Juwan Howard takes it down.
We haven't seen Dick Motta go with Harris and Dumas at the guard positions in a while. He's been keeping either Jackson or Kidd in there with one of them. So this is a little bit different rotation tonight.
It's Juwan Howard making it go. Juwan Howard with 4. But you know what? They're a little inexperienced at their guard line right now, too.
Yes, that's probably why he's doing that.
And they match up pretty well size-wise. Tarpley. A rebound. Donald Hodge comes up with it. Good play by Hodge. Now Dumas off the drive. Out to Mashburn. He launches the 3. Juwan Howard the rebound. The Bullets coming back. Overton. And a foul called on Overton's way to the hoop. Lucius Harris picks up the foul.
Foul by Lucius Harris. His the first team foul.
Watch Lucius Harris kind of moves up as Overton. I don't know. That's pretty good defensive position right there.
Shooting foul.
If there's ever any doubt, it'll go against the defense. If there is any doubt, it's got to be no doubt at all, and then you'll get the charge. Not a good start here now in the second quarter. Mavericks are 0 for 5 after shooting 64% in that first quarter.
And as a result, Overton can trim the lead to 2, and he does at 37-35.
And we see a little 2-2-1 full court pressure after the made free throw, which is a smart thing to do against a young team.
Mashburn driving inside, kicks out to Hodge. And the rebound to Juwan Howard. Washington with a chance to tie this trip. And Butler is called for a walk. Officials didn't know exactly who it was, and finally the one said the Butler did it.
Now the shots that we have seen here in the second quarter from the Mavericks have been either perimeter shots, but they haven't been down there, and that's where you got to go.
And that's where Lucius Harris goes to find their first 2 points of the second quarter.
You want your perimeter game to be a result of your inside attack. It's inside out. It doesn't start outside and end up inside. It starts inside.
Juwan Howard over Hodge. Foul called on Hodge. Looked like he did a pretty good job with him.
He was uptight defensively.
You can do that.
His the second team foul.
Juwan Howard, an excellent low post player, as I talked about in the open, loves to operate over either shoulder, but he can move out and face the basket and still shoot the jumper.
Not doing so well from 15 feet, though, although he hits the first one.
There he is coming right at you. Gets that little jump shot right there. Was fouled.
Tarpley with the rebound. Mavericks the ball, a 3-point lead. Mashburn read the double team into Hodge against Duckworth.
Once again inside, Jim. That's where you want to go with a basketball.
The other thing that works to the Mavericks' advantage in that regard is they don't have Murasov. You know, they can bring him. Calvert Cheney is fouled. The basket counts.
For the basket, Calvert Cheney.
Murasov, I'd like to see him play because they might not be as effective this year with the new defensive rules.
By Jones back in the
Cheney's
game.
such an outstanding player. He can use his right hand. He's a left-hander, but he can use his right hand and go to the basket. We've seen him do that a couple of times tonight.
Doesn't miss very often from the foul line, but he did right there.
Quality, just a quality person. They say outstanding citizen.
Tarpley against Duckworth. Up and under, and a walk whistled against Roy Tarpley. Popeye Jones back on for the Mavericks, replacing Mashburn. It's Hodge, Tarpley, and Jones up front. Dumas and Harris at the guard spots. 8:42 left in the half. 3-point lead for Dallas.
I'm sure what Dick Motta would like to do now is to be able to keep the lead or increase it just a little bit with this lineup in there off of the bench. Remember the great help they got off the bench the other night. That's coming.
Butler. Tarpley with the rebound. Ahead to Harris.
It's a nice job by Tarpley. Good rebound, good outlet. There you go, right down there.
Now they send help. Tarpley still puts the ball up out of that double team. Butler with the rebound and a foul call.
Foul by Donald Hodge.
Hodge
Second.
with his second.
Roy forcing things just a little bit here tonight. We didn't see him do that the other night, but coming off a good game, I think he wants to put back-to-back good games together, so it's understandable.
That foul on the Mavericks, their 4th team foul here with 8:10 left to go in the half.
It's too much time, isn't it? Too many fouls in less than 4 minutes.
Washington has 2 team fouls. Overton, Juwan Howard against Hodge. Butler, Mitchell Butler backing in on Dumas. And Popeye Jones takes it out of the air.
You see the anticipation on Popeye Jones's part.
Dumas off the drive, leaves it for Tarpley. And Roy Tarpley with the basket.
Dumas is so quick. He's too quick for his own good sometimes. You really want to use that quickness when you find the lane and you can get to the bucket. But other than that, you want to set the quickness up with good controlled movement.
Butler with Dumas on him. Duckworth against Tarpley. 8 to shoot. Evan Duckworth missing. Rebound tipped out to Overton. Now Calvert Cheney.
Calvert Cheney.
Cheney with 6. Mavericks with a 3-point lead. Good feed. Tarpley to Dumas. Blocked from behind by Mitchell, but a foul called. Mitchell Butler making the block.
Foul by Mitchell Butler.
A nice pass by Tarpley that time.
13 foul.
Dumas with the ball here. Makes that move left. You saw, boy, it was a good pass to Tarpley. That's the other way around. Last time down, and Tarpley scored. This time, Tarpley gave it to Dumas. Dumas fouled at the basket and at the line.
That free throw gives him 6 out of 10 on the season. The bench hasn't done a bad job of holding its own so far.
No, not at all.
Now the Mavericks in front by 5.
And you got the Triple J is on the bench. So, I mean, these guys playing without any one of the 3. Believe me, they're all better when a guy by the name of Kidd is at the point.
Cheney. Popeye Jones has him. Cheney stroking that outside jumper.
He is tough.
It's a real difficult matchup for Popeye Jones, and all things considered, he's done a pretty good job with it. Tarpley taken out by Howard. A hoop makes it a 1-point game. Overton with a quick release. Doug Overton has his first field goal, and the Mavericks lead is 45-44.
I think Dick Motta's going to take a timeout.
6:18 left to go in the half. Dallas will have it with 15 to shoot when we come back, and the Mavericks are up by 1. Back here in Reunion Arena, let's take a look at the Old Spice League leaders. The Shack on top. Jim Jackson right behind Robinson. David Robinson at 42 the other night against the Mavericks. Olajuwon and Jamal Mashburn. So two of the top 5 wearing those Mavericks colors.
Yeah, and the other 3 were centers. There's Jim Jackson.
Kidd is also back in. Mavericks have cooled off here in the second.
Watch the pace pick up.
Jackson comes up shooting. And Tarpley knocked it out of bounds. So Washington to work at the length of the floor. And now the Bullets with a chance at the lead.
That's very good execution offensively. Did you see how wide open Jackson was for that jumper?
Overton. Juwan Howard looking in. Lorenzo Williams on him. Howard spins inside. I don't know if he could see the basket, but he put it in.
Yeah, that's a tough shot. He made a good move. Good defensive pressure there, too.
6 in a row for the Bullets and a 1-point lead. Williams against Howard. Wide open is Jackson, but recovering is Butler.
Now there's the sneak. Jackson just lost it out of his hands that time. He went up to shoot it. The ball came flying out of his hands.
Overton looking for something in the post. Gets it to Duckworth against Tarpley. Duckworth fouled by Tarpley, and Kevin Duckworth to shoot 2.
Foul by Roy Tarpley.
Now he is the exception to the free throwing rule of the Washington Bullets.
Yes, he is not a good free throw shooter. He's coming off a bad year 1 year ago, but he has really turned it around. He came into camp 1 year ago with Washington after being traded from Portland at 330 pounds. He's down to 285.
He's just a mere shadow of his former self.
Yeah, that's right. Juwan Howard, pretty impressive off the bench tonight. 3 out of 5 from the field, 7 rebounds, a couple of steals. He did a nice job.
Washington has opened up a 3-point lead now with 8 straight points. Pass to Williams loose. Juwan Howard the steal, but guess who's there? Jason Kidd with the recapture down the lane of the scoop. Pop by Jones with a tip. On the second tip he scored.
You see how quickly he reacted with the second tip using his left hand? He is a rebounding machine. What a guy.
Overton around the pick by Howard. Duckworth way out on the court.
He can shoot that. Duckworth can shoot the shot out there. He's a good face-up shooter.
Kevin Duckworth with 6. 3-point lead for the Bullets. Popeye Jones under pressure, had it blocked, taken out of the air by Howard. Cheney on the block.
Did you see him get up and block? Cheney did a great job.
Overton starts it with Cheney. 4-3. Calvert Cheney.
Winner, Calvert Cheney.
I'll tell you, Jim, the matchup right now for the Mavericks is a very, very difficult one. With Popeye Jones on Cheney and Tarpley having to take Juwan Howard. It's a tough matchup for the Mavericks.
4 minutes left in the half. Kidd against Overton. Jones guarded by Cheney. Inside pass stolen by Howard, and then Tarpley reached in and picks up his second foul. The Mavericks are over the limit.
That first quarter momentum is gone. And this group here having a problem getting it back with 4 starters in there along with Tarpley.
Juwan Howard 1 for 2 free throwing tonight. Came into the game shooting 35% from the foul line.
That won't work, will it?
Mashburn getting ready to come back to the
Juwan
Mavericks.
Howard, 1 plus the penalty, 2 shots.
See, this guy is primarily a 4. He's primarily a power forward, and that's what Chris Webber plays. And I'm surprised at how that's all going to work out going forward. It'll be interesting to see. Now, Webber's coming in the ball game, so you have to assume that
back of the game.
Webber's going to go to the small forward position. Either that, or he's coming in for Duckworth, and he'll play the 5 position. He'll play the center spot, which is probably what will happen. I don't know that I'd want to take Cheney out of the game, right?
He's coming in for Howard.
Yeah. You think so?
Well, he's still over there. So Howard knocks out that second free throw. 7-point lead for Washington. He's had a 15-point swing in this game. Mashburn. Lorenzo Williams. Jackson over Duckworth. Nope, but tipped in by
Lorenzo Williams.
Lorenzo with 4.
We talk so much about the improvement of this team and the individuals, but we don't talk much about Lorenzo Williams, and that guy is improving.
Cheney, look out. Over Jamal. And the rebound to Howard. Dumps it underneath to Duckworth. Popeye Jones has it. Mavericks with a chance to string a couple of hoops together. Mashburn takes it out. Howard putting some pressure on him. Another illegal defense whistled against Washington.
Kevin Duckworth.
And now Weber is in, and Howard goes out.
Jim, let me point out something that you've mentioned earlier in the season. The veterans, the guys that have been around longer, are having more problems with this rule than the younger players. You see Duckworth is standing just above the dotted line, but below the free throw line, and that's illegal because his man's out above the top of the circle. And the veterans are the ones that are used to the other rules, the 2.9 rule. They are struggling with this a little bit.
Yeah, like the Dikembe Mutombo, for example. He says, I need to fly. That's what he said when they were here. Jones, Kidd, Jackson, Jim Jackson. And the rebound to Weber.
Look out, they got a guy out front. Cheney was out front. There he is, too.
4-3. Lorenzo Williams, the rebound. He's back with a hoop. They can cut it to 2.
Something will happen.
Tried to find somebody underneath. They were getting rebound position. Weren't aware the pass was incoming. Chapman for Weber. Away to Jackson. Now the Mavericks in transition. Kidd to Mashburn for 3. The long rebound. Jason Kidd is there trying to dig it out, and Mashburn does pick it up. He's trapped in the corner. Mashburn lobs it back out to Kidd.
But Mashburn gets it because Kidd went on the floor after it.
Yes, sir. Jason Kidd now off the drive to the hoop. Left feet, nope. Foul called, though. He'll shoot 2.
You know, every time Kidd goes down, if you look at Brad Davis, Davis just cringes because Kidd plays so hard. Davis is always concerned about the fact that Jason Kidd is going to get hurt.
Especially when he goes up against Duckworth, as he did there. 2:03 for the half. 54-50, Washington.
The Bulls defeat Phoenix during one of the championship games of which year?
What would you do with them after you washed them and dried them, other than wear them?
Good point. This guy hadn't scored a point.
Yeah, you're talking about Jason Kidd. Hasn't scored a
What's
point.
he done?
He got 6 assists, 2 rebounds. He's got 1 block shot. I don't know how many steals he's got.
And you're right. His temperament has pretty much set the tone, especially in the early going tonight for the Mavericks. And they were feeding off his energy. He splits the free throws here. It's a 3-point lead for Washington. 2 minutes left in the half.
He knows in his mind what he wants to do every second that he's out there on the floor.
25% shooting here in the second quarter. That was Weber. Went 1 for 2 that trip. Weber with 9.
He wasn't happy about missing the shot, but he did what he does very well, and that's offensive rebound.
Average into the post to Mashburn. Under pressure. Jamal Mashburn. 17 for Jamal.
Look at Kidd. Kidd comes back down the floor. He's looking up at the scoreboard, the clock. He's trying to figure out, what can I do to get the ball back?
He already knows about how many possessions they're going to have based on how much time. Rex Chapman off the drive. 8 points for him.
Well, he's become very good at numbers because when you make that much money, you learn to figure that out.
Jamal Mashburn against Cheney. Inside Jackson.
Jim Jackson scores. Jamal Mashburn.
Speaking of passes,
it's a 3-point lead for Washington. Less than a minute for the half.
that was a great pass. Great pass.
Rex Chapman for 3. 6-point lead for the Bullets. Missed steal by Chapman. Jason Kidd. Rebound tipped away. Overton has it. Overton with a quick release. Doug Overton. 6 points for him. The Bullets are up by 8, so we've had a 16-point swing. Shot clock is at 15, about 8 difference. Mashburn off the glass. 19 for Mash.
Tremendous move.
Kidd really hounding Overton. He's trying to delay their arrival. Kidd a steal, takes it in on Overton. Overshot the basket, and now Overton coming back. Chapman for 3. That's in with 4.4 left. Mashburn launches his 3 try. And at halftime, it's a 9-point lead for the Washington Bullets. 66-57 Washington.
Get
They had that buzzer beater, the shot by Jackson that banked in on the great defensive play and assist by Jason Kidd. Mavericks in possession as the third quarter gets underway. Lorenzo Williams against Duckworth. Into Mashburn, triple team. The kick out to Kidd. That's a 2 if it goes, and it goes.
That'll help to start here in the third period.
Kidd guarding Skiles. McLean tried to feed the ball to Duckworth, and it's out of bounds to the Mavericks.
Jim Lynam, head coach of the Washington Bullets, did go back with his original starting lineup. This one didn't play as well as the one that had Chaney in there. I think Chaney very much a key here in the second half.
And Juwan Howard played well off the bench. Jim Jackson, it rattles out. Duckworth the rebound. Skiles surveys the scene.
It looked like snooker, didn't it?
Chapman looking in over Jackson. Inside to Weber. Nice move by Weber.
He's got great hands. I mean, he gets that tight. He's very effective. You got to use your lower body. You got to kind of get him out of the paint.
Washington back to a 9-point lead. To the hoop is Mashburn.
Well, I tell you what, McLean cannot handle him. Mashburn really lighting up McLean. He did it in the first period here tonight, too.
And Mash is having the kind of game when no one can handle him. You know, he's shooting the ball and making some moves like he did in Chicago against Pippen. Chapman, Williams the rebound. Mavericks now with a chance to string a couple of hoops together. Popeye Jones drops it for Mashburn.
He caught Mashburn by surprise that time. Mashburn thought he was going to the basket. Popeye passes it, rebounds it, scores.
And gets an assist on that one. 2 minutes into the third. It's a 5-point lead for the Bullets. Duckworth against Lorenzo Williams.
Boy, he starts bumping that body into Lorenzo Williams, and Williams just has no choice. I mean, there's nothing he can do.
That's a real punishment when Duckworth starts knocking you around.
And by the way, he's out of Eastern Illinois, but he is from...
Well, actually, he's from Harvey.
Oh, you're getting out of that. That's Chicago IL, folks.
Tom McLean picking up the foul. You know where you went to high school? Quinn Buckner's old school, Thornridge.
Thornridge High School.
9:43 left in the third. Mashburn. Jamal Mashburn's got everything working. 25 for him.
25 points with 9 minutes, better than 9 minutes left in the third period.
5-point lead for the Bullets again. Duckworth fouled by Lorenzo Williams.
Oh, that's it. He got him on a hand check. That's the new rule. That's the hand check rule. Williams put it out there. Let's see if we can see it. There it is. There it is. It's right there. It's correct call. They are supposed to call that, and he did. Did he influence him at all? I don't think so, but that doesn't matter.
Skiles going over the top to Weber.
Saw it coming when he reversed on the baseline. You knew it was going to be an alley-oop pass.
Jim Jackson wheels in on Chapman and scores.
The nice thing about Jackson's basket is they both count only 2 points.
Exactly.
Weber's was 2. It looked a little bit more spectacular, but it's only 2.
Jackson's got 14. The Mavericks stay within 5. Need a stop.
This is tough here for there. That's what you got to do. Help him out a little bit.
Duckworth able to muscle the shot up there, and a foul whistled on Kidd for reaching in. 2 fouls on Jason Kidd. 2 team fouls on the Mavericks.
I get nervous every time Kidd commits a foul. Just hate to think of this Maverick team in the 4th period with Jason Kidd in foul trouble.
Kevin Duckworth, 2 shots.
Mavericks with a good start again in the 3rd period, much like they started the ball game. They're 5 out of 6, but Washington has countered with 3 out of 4.
Duckworth hit both of his free throw attempts in the first half.
Jim, Duckworth was an all-star in '89 and '91, a Western Conference all-star.
He was with Portland. Kidd backs it out. Skiles on him. Jackson surrounded but fires anyway. Jim Jackson with 16. I mean, there were all kinds of red shirts around him. Weber, he's doubled up. Now to Duckworth down the lane. Blocked by Williams. Goaltending. Duckworth gets the hoop.
It's all right. I like to see Williams go after it like that. I'm not sure the ball was coming down. I'm not sure this is goaltending. No, I don't think it is. I think there's a case of anticipation when, in fact, it never really occurred.
Again, the Mavericks down 5. Jackson gets around Duckworth on the baseline and draws the foul.
Duckworth comes out of there limping just a little bit.
Foul by Don McLean.
They call the foul on McLean, and that's his 4th. 2 team fouls on Washington in the 3rd. Jackson to shoot 2.
Jackson out there talking with Mashburn that time. How many conversations you think those 2 guys are going to have in the next 10 years on the playing floor?
This isn't like Jim Jackson. He's had a struggle at the free throw line tonight. Calvert Chaney has returned for Washington. McLean is out with 4 fouls. Jackson makes good on the second one. 17 points for Jackson. The Bullets the ball, a 4-point lead. 8 minutes left in the 3rd.
Now you must defend Chaney because Chaney can score.
Chapman leaves it for Skiles, who launches the 3. Rebound. Popeye Jones got a hand on it, and Lorenzo Williams saved it off Skiles.
Tremendous effort by Popeye Jones to get it back for the Mavericks, and then a great save by Williams. Look at the effort by Popeye. Lorenzo doesn't get it, but that's great hustle right there, and he knocks it off of Skiles.
Mavericks with a chance to cut it to 2. Popeye Jones slips it into Mashburn. Good play. Popeye on the tip, and again. Finally, the rebound on the floor and out of bounds. It belongs to Washington.
That was excellent execution that time. Jones he got wide open and then made an immediate pass inside the match. Really executing offensively well.
Popeye Jones already in double figures with rebounds. This is Duckworth. Rimming no, and they rebounded Jones. Jackson, Kidd. Pass to Jackson, tipped away by Chapman out of bounds. The Mavericks to come in with 7:07 left in the 3rd and 19 on the shot clock. 74-70 Washington. Jason Kidd driving on Skiles, gets an open shot for Mashburn. 4-3.
Click, click, click. 28.
It's a 1-point lead for the Bullets this trip. Cheney around Mashburn, blocked by Williams, taken out by Jamal. Mavericks on the push. Mashburn to Jackson. Jackson with a lean-in shot. Popeye Jones with a follow. Banked too hard. He's going to try it again. Rebound Jackson. Has it blocked. Bullets come out with a loose ball. Look at Kidd fighting Chapman, and a foul called on Kidd. And Dick Mutta not happy. He thought there was a foul or 2 at the other end.
Timeout, Mavericks.
Chaney gets around Mashburn. It's Lorenzo Williams, number 44, with a block.
I tell you what, this game is starting to heat up. The Mavericks, with their home cooking, have brought this game to a boil. Timeout, 6:20 for the third. Washington by 1.
Every year at this time, folks, it's
Jim Durham with Bob Ortigo back in Reunion Arena. The Mavericks on a 16-8 run have cut it to 1.
Popeye Jones with 14 rebounds already, 7 of them offensive, and Kidd with 9 assists. And let me mention that Mavericks are 3-0 when Jason Kidd gets to double figures in the assist column.
Look at the big rebound differential here in the third. Skiles against Kidd. Chaney, Mashburn on him. Washington down to 10 on the shot clock. Calbert Chaney launches the 3. Nope. Rebound long, Duckworth taken away by Kidd. Jason Kidd burns up the court. Now to Mashburn. And the rebound to Kidd. Mashburn knows he's got the shorter player on him. Slips through, kicks out to Jackson for 3. Rimming now. Rebound, Popeye Jones and Williams, and it ends up in the hands of Skiles.
Unbelievable.
Now Skiles to the hoop, and he gets the reverse to go. You ever see a team miss more layups and inside little chippies?
I think it's anxiety more than anything. I really do.
Mashburn slips the pass into Jackson. Rebound, Jim Jackson follows it in. Good effort.
I think Popeye made the play, though.
Yep.
I think he had the ball initially.
Washington the ball in a 1-point lead. They were up 9 at the half. Skiles off the drive, runs into a crowd, and the Bullets get the hoop from Chris Webber.
Did you see those great hands by Webber that time? Well, I'll tell you what, you think this crowd isn't getting some entertainment here tonight?
Mashburn against Chaney. Jamal Mashburn on the layup. Mashburn now with 30. 11 in the third.
Mashburn having that dry spell last week. I think people got worried, but he's heating it up again this week.
Now he's guarding Chaney.
Ooh, Chapman wanted the ball, and he was disgusted when he didn't get it coming off of that pick.
Chaney with 5 to shoot, comes back to Skiles. Skiles, force-up shot now, not there. Rebound, Webber with his follow. Bank no, and now it's Chaney off the glass. So Washington getting the offensive rebound, and they score.
It's a war on the boards. You better be a warrior inside, because that's what's taking place.
Mashburn takes the double team out on the court. Mashburn now off the drive. Nope, but a foul called. He'll shoot 2.
Foul by Calbert Chaney.
Calbert Chaney with his second. 3 team fouls on the Bullets. Juwan Howard returning for Washington. Kevin Duckworth going out.
And Howard played very well in the first half, combined now with former teammate Chris Webber. 2 of the Fab 5. Out of Michigan, as you all know.
Mashburn has hit 4 free throws in a row after missing his first tonight.
Been a long time since the Mavericks have had the lead.
They were up by 8 after 1, 37-29. Then Washington took over in the second quarter and went up by 9 at the half. Right now it's a 1-point lead for the Bullets. Chapman guarded by Jackson. Chapman from the outside. Rimming no. Lorenzo Williams a rebound. Kidd on the move in the front court. The Mavericks with a crack at the lead, and Jason Kidd gives it to him.
He very seldom does that. Very seldom comes down the floor, keeps the ball. But he's the guy that hits the jumper that puts him ahead.
Juwan Howard wheels in, drops the ball off underneath for Chaney. Taken out by Jones. Mavericks looking to extend in the 1-point lead.
It's a good decision by Jackson. There was no place to go. They didn't have numbers.
Now it's Mashburn into Jackson, already doubled up. Back out to Mashburn. Shot clock at 6. And on the pass off by Jamal Mashburn, an offensive foul called on Mashburn. 2 fouls on him, a timeout taken. 2:57 left in the third here in Reunion. The Mavericks are back from a 9-point deficit and lead it by 1. 3-11-5 in the West. How about those Mavericks? Just 2 games off the lead.
Yeah, and let me point out there the Lakers. That's a team that's playing very well ever since they defeated Dallas in LA. I think the Mavericks will be looking for the Lakers next Tuesday.
Rex Chapman, Jackson has him. Juwan Howard against Tarpley. 8 to shoot. Howard under pressure. Rimming no. Weber with a follow, and the Washington Bullets are up by 1.
Boy, does he do a nice job keeping the ball up, and he should keep it up, by the way. He has an 87-inch wingspan. Long arms.
Inside pass tipped out of bounds, intended for Jackson from Jones. The Mavericks keep it 11 to shoot. Coach Mata's club has come back here again tonight after trailing by 9 at the half. Mashburn slips through some pressure and gets the layup down.
Well, he's poetry in motion tonight.
34 points.
And you need a little poetry in your life, so it's nice for you to see that.
Exactly. Cheney gets his own rebound. Stay there though, and Jackson comes out with it. Jim Jackson on the attack for the Mavericks as they look to extend on their 1-point lead.
That's their through cut. That's what they call a through cut right there. That's what they're looking for.
And it's Mashburn from Jones.
Mashburn from Popeye Jones.
36.
If he goes on the ball side of that high post man, it's a through cut. If he goes away from that ball on the other side of the high post man, it's what they refer to as a rub cut.
13 minutes plus left in this game, and Mashburn already with 36. He could better the 50. Jackson, nice change of direction move, left it for Tarpley, loose, and the ball ends up in the hands of Tarpley. Roy Tarpley with a finger roll. Rebound on the floor, Washington out with it. Skiles up court, Chapman in on Mashburn, gets the basket.
Thanks, Chapman.
First 2 points for Chapman in the second half.
I'll tell you what, that's one Kentucky alum taking it right at another Kentucky alum there. Chapman with a 45-inch vertical jump, folks. He can really get off the floor.
Popeye Jones, Juwan Howard has him, 8 to shoot, and a foul call. It's an offensive foul on Jamal Mashburn. 3 fouls on him.
Mitchell Butler back in the game.
Mitchell Butler returning for Washington. Rex Chapman goes out. Bullets down 1. 40 seconds left in the third.
Look out, this guy is tough.
Cheney over Mashburn. Rebound, Popeye Jones. Here's Jason Kidd on the burn. Now works around Skiles. Oh, he had to muscle his shot up there to avoid a travel call. And Washington coming back the other way. Cheney, Howard into Weber. Missed on the shot attempt. Howard with a follow and a foul call. Juwan Howard on the line. Popeye Jones has his first foul of the game.
First in the last 2 minutes.
As you look at Juwan Howard on the line, keep this in mind. You're looking at 2 of the youngest teams in the NBA. You're looking at 2 teams that I think in a period of 2 or 3 years are going to be among the elite teams in the NBA. The Bullets' average age is 25 years of age. The Mavericks are 24.5. Howard's got 11 rebounds and 3 steals.
Yeah, the Fab 2 hasn't done bad tonight.
Well, I guess.
Howard splits the free throws. It's a tie game. Mavericks playing for 1.
Howard with those 11 rebounds. Weber with 12 rebounds.
Mashburn, Tarpley running out of time. Tarpley from long range. Tip try Jackson not there. And the rebound to Washington. And the third quarter comes to an end. The Mavericks and Bullets are tied at 85.
Right there, 36 points.
28-19. The Mavericks outscored Washington in the third. The fourth is underway. Overton, Howard into Weber, and a foul on
3 seconds.
a 3-second call.
Popeye, I think, thought he had committed a foul with his lower body. He was really trying to root Weber out of that deep post that Weber likes to set.
I'm with you.
Well, that's nice to know.
Mavericks looking for the lead. Jones. Howard out on him tough. Now it's Jackson. Guarded by Butler. Kidd with 9 to shoot. Into Tarpley. Oh! No, tip is in though. He stayed with it. Tarpley with 6.
Yeah, one of the things that he has talent-wise is a great pair of hands, and you saw it right there. He just reached out with those long arms, tipped it back up and in.
Overton starts it on the left side of Butler. Overton has it back, shoots the long one. That's a 2 for Doug Overton.
Tell you what, Overton hit a couple of perimeter shots in the first half, didn't he?
He's got 8 points. This is Kidd going all the way. He saw the opening and said, I know what to do with this.
Doesn't take him long to recognize things.
Howard. Juwan Howard having a fine night. 11 points for the rookie. His season and career best is 14.
Tell you what, Don McLean better start looking over his shoulder because Juwan Howard's going to pressure him a little bit for more playing time.
He's out pressuring Jones right now. Mashburn into Jackson and a foul call.
Foul by Mitchell Butler.
Jason Kidd.
His second.
Look at the pass to Tarpley. Now watch the tip in here. Look at there. He didn't get it down, but that's a good second reaction. Tarpley, I think, a little bit frustrated tonight. Maybe that one will help. Mavericks really need for Tarpley to perform coming off.
That's 20 points for Jackson in the game. Lucius Harris back in for Dallas.
Mavericks do not beat San Antonio the other night in San Antonio without Roy Tarpley's performance off the bench. They need it desperately.
22 points and 14 rebounds. Not too shabby, huh? Jackson hits both free throws. 91-89. Mavericks the lead. Washington the ball. Harris guarding Overton. Chaney against Mashburn. This is Weber against Popeye. Weber tries to drop it off underneath, and it's out of bounds.
But a nice defensive scheme by the Mavericks. That was Harris on a double down who took away the lane that Weber wanted coming into the middle.
Mashburn guarded by Chaney. Mashburn comes out being chased in a double team. Jackson inside to Jones. A super pass by Jackson.
Great job. He got down along the baseline, split the trap, and made the pass. Excellent. Just really excellent.
Timeout. 9:51 remaining. They roar their approval in Reunion Arena. The Mavericks have opened up a 4-point lead. Look at all the day's sports news and highlights. Stay with HSE at midnight Sunday through Friday for Press Box, a live look at all you need to know from the world of sports. Mavericks a 4-point lead. Doug Overton guarded by Harris. Juwan Howard with Jones on him. 8 on the shot clock.
That's a good defensive job by Jackson that time.
And they force him into a turnover as Harris wouldn't let Overton have the baseline.
Jackson did a nice job on Butler. He denied him the ball. Butler had to swing completely to the other side of the floor and couldn't get it.
Butler guarding Jackson.
That's a big defensive stop. We've talked enough about that.
Stolen by Howard. Juwan Howard has the run out.
The point at which Jackson cut it loose off the dribble on the pass, Popeye had turned to go away and set a pick. That is an honest mistake. That kind of a mistake does not bother you. That's not a mental mistake out there.
14 to shoot. Mavericks lead down to 2 with 9 minutes left. Inside Lucius Harris. Point blank on the turnaround.
Tarpley with a pass.
Tell you what, the Mavericks run that play to death, don't they?
They really do. They did with Rolando Blackman. They ran it to death for years. Brad Davis, Derek Harper, and Blackman really ran it well.
Overton on the miss, and Jones has the rebound. Yeah, and you know what? Bobby Weiss used to run it too.
Along with Jerry Sloan.
Harris gives it up left side. Jackson off the drive. Ooh, his pass intended for Tarpley thrown away.
Right here. Now watch Popeye go away to set a pick at the same point at which Jackson passes out of the dribble. That's an honest mistake. Get a good look at it there.
So Washington faced with a 4-point deficit. 8:19 left. Duckworth against Tarpley. The big fella rolls out, and Popeye Jones came over and took the foul. A smart play by Popeye Jones, because Kevin Duckworth is a 53% free throw shooter.
Yeah, a real smart play. Popeye Jones made it that time. You must be aware. That's what we are talking about when we consistently refer to recognition. Who's taking the shot? Where is the trap? Where's the open man?
Duckworth is 3 of 5 free throwing in the game. He's got 11 points. (95-93). Mavericks have been up by as many as 8. Washington has led by as many as 9, but it's been pretty close other than that. We've got 8 minutes remaining. Harris against Overton. Quick move to the hoop by Lou Harris.
Good job by Harris. Nice explosiveness on the baseline.
Mavericks looking for the defensive stop this trip. Overton checked by Harris. 10 on the clock. Duckworth against Tarpley. Duckworth in the double team.
Kevin Duckworth.
Well, that big guy's tough, isn't he?
He is. He's got 14 points in the game.
He does a lot of what Patrick Ewing does. He makes contact with the on you, then he goes away for the shot. He moves you enough to create room for himself to get the shot off.
Tarpley from the outside. Rattles out. Washington back. Butler on the move. Bullets looking to tie. Calvert Chaney. That's a 2 if it goes. Popeye Jones, another rebound.
And he's tired. Popeye Jones is actually...
He's laboring a little bit.
Yeah, he got Doug Atkinson's attention. Atkinson got up immediately and told Dick Motta, look at Popeye, he needs a rest. He is exhausted.
Jim Jackson giving the Mavericks a 4-point lead, and Lorenzo Williams on his way to the scorer's table with 6:43 left in regulation. Butler to the hoop. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Dallas. And now Williams comes in for Popeye Jones. Kidd coming in, and Jackson going out.
And Popeye Jones sits down as you look at number 54 right there with 13 points
and 18 rebounds.
18 rebounds. Oh my.
Chapman just came into the game for Washington. He lost it out of bounds, but it was knocked out by the Mavericks. 6:31 left to go in regulation. 23 on the shot clock.
Boy, if you think the Dallas Mavericks and Rick Sutton didn't make a great trade when they got Popeye Jones, give him credit.
Ball is out of bounds to the Mavericks. Popeye the other night here at 22 rebounds. Yeah. Tarpley. Kidd. Overton has him. Mashburn on the turnaround move, and a foul. Jamal to shoot 2. Calvert Chaney on the foul. 3 fouls on him. 14,055 looking on tonight.
The day will come when there will not be an empty seat in Reunion Arena as this team grows and matures and people begin to realize just how much fun it is to watch this young team play and see some of the great things that they do. Nationally,
on 4 occasions that has happened already this year.
Nationally, the media is beginning to pay so much attention because there are so many highlight type plays that the Mavericks come up with every night as a result of point guard Jason Kidd.
Looks great on CNN and ESPN.
It sure does.
And press box. Going to look great on press box.
And I'll tell you where it really looks good, and that's on HSE.
That's right.
Thank goodness we're here.
6 minutes left. Duckworth up and under. What's the deal? He walked. Kevin Duckworth on the travel. So the Mavericks have it with a 6-point lead. A little less than 6 minutes for the game. Skiles back in for the Bullets. Overton goes out. They got Chapman and Skiles at the guard line. And Juwan Howard, Chaney, and Duckworth up front.
And watch Chapman and Skiles. You can't give them any room because they will shoot it. As you look at the turnover stat, it's all even.
That's not bad. 13 turnovers.
No, it's not.
Jason Kidd. Mashburn. Tarpley comes out to get it. Now feeds it to Harris. Good pass by Tarpley to Harris.
I thought Tarpley was going to dribble it, and he couldn't. He didn't have a dribble left. And by Harris and a nice pass by Tarpley.
Jim Lydham takes time. 5:33 for the game. They come to their feet in Reunion Arena. The Mavericks have reestablished an 8-point lead.
Watch Tarpley here. He goes around Duckworth, finds an open Lou Harris, and gets it down.
The Mavericks in front by very good.
There you see him down low. That's an easy one. But he's made some spectacular plays tonight.
38 for him. 5:33 remaining.
Listen to the crowd. What a welcome sound and sight that is.
Washington gets it in play. They came in with 17 to shoot. Juwan Howard. Calvert Chaney. Mashburn picks him up. Skiles passed on the 3. Took up a little slack and hit the 2. That's what Kidd made him do.
Yes.
He ran him off the 3.
And believe me, Skiles and Chapman, you do not want those guys shooting threes.
Kidd slips it inside to Tarpley. Lefty this time. Off the glass. Roy Tarpley.
And a strong move. Good, strong power move by Tarpley that time. As Jones gets some much-needed rest on the bench.
Oh, some pick by Duckworth. He dropped Kidd in his tracks. And now Howard blocked, but goaltending. Lorenzo Williams went high, but is called for the goaltend, and Juwan Howard gets the basket.
Hard to criticize, though, because it's effort. Hard to criticize. What did he get up? Whew.
That's a new season high, and of course career high for Juwan Howard, 15 points. 6-point lead for the Mavericks. Mashburn looking for room, finds Lorenzo Williams, and he's fouled going up. Skiles reached in.
Foul by Scott Skiles.
First foul on Skiles.
The 13th foul. Chris Webb
Nice
back
pass
again.
down to Williams that time. We sure don't get much of a chance to talk about this guy. He has been all over the place. Played junior college basketball in Florida, then he went to Stetson. Listen to this, Jim. After that, he plays.
Where's this guy?
Yeah, he plays in the CBA, the United States Basketball League, the Global Basketball Association, Charlotte, Orlando, Boston, Dallas, and let's keep him here.
Nothing doing at the foul line for him that trip, but the Mavericks still up by 6.
He's played in every league that's ever existed on the pro level.
Chapman gives it up to Weber. Weber left open in the corner and takes it. What's the deal? A foul. A foul call on Tarpley. Jack Neese had the angle.
The second team foul.
And Weber goes to the line.
Yeah, he got him on the elbow. That's a good NBA play, and that's a veteran play.
Chris Webber, 3 shots.
Yep, free throws. It was a 3-point attempt.
That's a new rule this year.
Just like it were 2. Chris Webber with a double-double tonight. Shooting for his 18th point.
He's going to have, whoa, my
goodness.
Whoa.
You don't want to miss one like that on the road. You want to miss those at home. Listen to the fans hoot it up as Weber gets ready. They know he's looking at a hat trick. He drains it.
Weber and Howard are going to get a little bit leery. Didn't Michigan lose to Arkansas here in Reunion Arena?
I believe that was the case. Of course, Weber wasn't playing.
Right, he wasn't with that team. Howard was.
Harris. Shot clock at 10. Mashburn has to come way out to get it against Weber. Off to Kidd. Kidd with 4 to shoot. In deep over the head.
He's a dandy.
It's a 7-point lead.
Entertainment at its best. Get a ticket, folks.
Weber for 3. His second of the game.
You don't want to make him mad now.
He's got 21.
Don't make that guy mad.
Tarpley, Duckworth guarding him. Lorenzo Williams. And away from the play, we have a foul. Maybe it's out front on Weber. It is.
Foul by Chris Webber. His third. Jim Jackson back.
Watch this play by Kidd.
Yeah, Mashburn. behind the back, knew where Kidd was. Look at there. Another big bucket at the right time.
Big trip for the Mavericks. That's the 14th foul, by the way, on Washington. Kidd. Oh, slips a pass inside.
You're going to double team Jason Kidd. You're going to pay for it.
How do you see him, though?
There's a price. He's better than you are and me.
That's how he's doing. In less than 3 minutes to go in this game.
Kidd with 11 assists. Remember what I said about double figures.
Duckworth blocked by Williams, but a foul called and no goaltend.
No way. That's a block, but the whistle had blown.
Right.
When Kidd is in double figures in assists, the Mavericks are undefeated. That is his 11th assist right there. Roy Tarpley on the receiving end, getting the two-pointer.
Duckworth to shoot two.
Watch Lorenzo Williams. You think he's not having a heck of a ball game?
The foul was called on Tarpley. Duckworth, 15 points tonight. 18 is his season high.
Tell you, give Washington some credit because they are right there against a Maverick team that's played pretty well, with the exception of the second period.
4-point lead for the Mavericks this trip. 2:43 left.
Execution.
Jones feeds it inside to Jackson.
3 seconds.
A 3-second call against the Mavericks. Washington trying to take advantage. Skiles directing the show.
Watch Chapman on a curl.
Got an offensive foul call, setting the pick to free Chapman. It's on Weber. That's 4 on him.
Chapman is hiding down there behind Weber, trying to play the very kind of game that Jackson loves to play on the post and use those tricks to get open.
Mavericks taking a timeout. 2:25 remaining. 109-105 Dallas. Four-point lead for the Mavericks coming up Saturday night. The Charlotte Hornets. LJ comes back with the Hornets.
Yeah, LJ comes home. Skyline High School in Dallas, Odessa Junior College in Odessa, Texas, UNLV, Charlotte, and back home to Dallas.
They lose tonight in Houston, but they came from way back and they caught the Rockets in the fourth quarter of that game. Mavericks trying to hang on here and go 3 games over the 500 mark. Look at that shooting in the fourth for Dallas. 10 out of 12.
Now what that tells you, though, with 2:24 on the clock, is the team that's going to win this game is the team that D's it up in the next 2.5 minutes. There's a change in the defense. Half-court pressure in the form of a trap by Washington.
10 to shoot. 2:08 on the game clock. Pass to Mashburn loose, but Jamal controls it. His hands are on fire. 40 for Mashburn.
2 minutes in the period.
40 points.
40.
4-0.
There's a foul on Popeye Jones. He
Foul by
reached out and
Popeye
grabbed
Jones.
Weber.
His third.
That puts
First
the
of the last
Mavericks
2 minutes.
over the limit. No, that is the first in the last 2 minutes.
The next one Washington will be at the line.
Skiles to Chapman cutting across the lane, and another foul. He'll be on the line. Popeye Jones with his fourth.
Foul by Popeye Jones.
You hate to see
His
Chapman go to the
second
line.
in the last 2 minutes.
He's an 87% free throw shooter, and he's always been a good shooter.
And especially so in the clutch.
Max Chapman.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Big shots for this
He
team.
really does. In fact, in the exhibition season, Washington played here in Reunion Arena. I was sitting over on the other side, and I'll tell you, he hit 2 3-pointers late in the ballgame that were just unbelievable.
So he hits both free throws here. It's a 4-point lead for the Mavericks. Jason Kidd surveys the scene. Kidd against Skiles. To Tarpley coming across the other way. And the rebound to Washington. Looked like somebody had their hand in the net. Weber.
You can't pull that basket like that down there, and that's exactly what happened. Brad Davis is up. Kip Motta's up.
Skiles. 2-point game. Scott Skiles with 1:18 remaining.
Dick Motta calls 5. You're going to post the guards. Watch the guards down low. There's Jackson.
Popeye Jones against Weber. Into Mashburn. Mash in a crowd. No. Rebound on the floor. Still loose. And finally a timeout taken by Washington. The Bullets were in control. They take a 20. It was Kevin Duckworth down on the court, giving them possession.
Speaking of timeouts, the Bullets have 2 left. The Mavericks have 3 left. The Bullets still have a foul to give. Could have been a call right here. Tarpley up underneath. Now watch him grab the basket. Duckworth grabs the... You can't go up through the net like that. And it actually causes the... You can see the board shaking right there, but Mavericks did not get that call. Are we going to go overtime again?
Well, if so, the Mavericks stand a good chance to win.
Yeah, and they're 3-0, but they got to go all the way to 124 to do it.
Well, they've already got 111 up there.
So it's possible.
It's true. Bullets with a chance to tie.
Remember what I said about the team that D's it up in the last couple minutes because of the great shooting will win it.
This is Duckworth against Tarpley. Game is tied as Kevin Duckworth delivers. Mavericks are in that 2-for-1 possession. 16 to shoot. Popeye Jones. Jackson. 8 on the clock. Mashburn takes a look. Fade away by Mash. Yeah! Mashburn!
He wanted it. He wanted it. He got it, and it went in.
And Washington takes time with 22.8 remaining, and the Mavericks up by 2. Jamal Mashburn with 42 points in the game.
And none of the other 40 as big as this one right here. 41 and 42 puts the Mavericks up 2. You get a second look at it right there. 22.8 seconds on the clock. Mashburn heads for the bench when the timeout was called by the Bullets.
I'll tell you what, that offensive combination, Mashburn and Jackson. You know, Jim Jackson's got 23. It's not a bad night's work, right?
Oh, it's a great night's work. What you were going to say about that offensive combination, but don't forget the guy pulling the trigger, Mr. Kidd, who is a man, let me tell you. There he is, number 5.
You think he's not already thinking? He has filed away in his mind certain things about Washington and how they handle the ball.
And what Skiles has done to him, Kidd is very much aware of. He's thinking.
He's going I wouldn't be surprised he comes up with a big defensive play again. Here's Skiles against Kidd. Now it's Chapman against Jackson. Around a Weber screen. Nope, comes back to Cheney. No shot clock, remember. Duckworth. Cheney looked away a shot. Now Skiles takes up slack. Under pressure, the game tied. Scott Skiles.
Pretty nice defensive job by the Mavericks. They did a good defensive job. That was a tough shot and not one that they were looking for, but Skiles got it down. Watch this. That's what they wanted down there, but Kidd forces it out of his hands. Skiles to Cheney, back to Skiles. Now watch him get inside. You don't want to foul him. Skiles gets it to go.
Skiles has 6 of his 11 points in the 4th.
You see the clock right there. Here's the full sequence. Into Duckworth, back to Skiles, back to Cheney, back to Skiles again. Not a bad defensive job. Skiles made a tough shot.
Yeah, I don't know how he saw the basket. He had big people on him, too.
Yes, he did. Popeye Jones had come over to help out.
But the Mavericks have 3.1 to get a game winner down before the overtime.
They will take the ball out, I am sure, at the 10-second line. try to put it, the most important thing right now is to get the ball in bounds. I made that statement the other night when San Antonio was trying to put it in bounds. When Kidd came up with a steal, you want to get it in and then always watch the man who is out of bounds, because you have time to go back to him for the shot.
Mavericks have 2 full timeouts and a 20. Washington with only a full timeout remaining.
And you've got Mashburn in the game with Jackson, Kidd, Popeye Jones, and Roy Tarpley.
Washington with Skiles, Jawan Howard, Weber, Cheney, and Duckworth.
And will Washington take the delay of game right now? They probably will. Yeah, Lynham wants him to attack and take the delay of game. Yeah, Lynham's saying, go ahead, attack him, take the delay of game.
No, he's not letting Jones come in with it. To Jackson. Jim Jackson gets it away. Nope, we're going overtime.
They don't call a foul. Oh, my, oh, my.
Overtime for the second game in a row for the Mavericks, who are undefeated in overtime. We'll return to Reunion Arena with the 5-minute OT after these messages. The Mavericks ready to put their unbeaten overtime record on the line tonight.
Here's a look at what appears to be a foul anyway, but no call, so it's a tie ball game, and we're going to go to OT. All the Mavericks have to do is get 11 points, get to 124, and win it in overtime.
Yeah.
Remember the first overtime win, Mashburn had 50, 124 points. Second overtime win, Jackson had 50, 124 points.
Mashburn's got 42 right now. Chapman. Nope. Mashburn the rebound, so the Mavericks have a chance at the lead.
Boy, Lynham was really upset about the push. He thought there was a push inside.
Well, if there wasn't a push at this end, there wouldn't be one at that end.
Amen, brother.
Kidd for 3. Rebound, Jones.
Oh.
Popeye Jones had it chopped away off his leg, says Jack Neese. It belongs to Washington. Skiles runs the show for the Bullets. Kidd guarding him.
Both teams shot 71% in the fourth period. Amazing.
Here's Duckworth. And Kidd took it away from him. Now the Mavericks on the run. Mashburn strong to the hoop. Kidd the tip.
Holy cow. Kidd with the steal. Kidd with the offensive rebound. Kidd with the basket.
What did we say late in regulation about Jason Kidd was taking mental notes all during the game?
He always does.
He went right down and took it away from Duckworth. Skiles, no, but Duckworth, yes.
Kevin Duckworth.
Good inside play. On the boards, the Mavericks are missing that jumping jack. Lorenzo Williams a little bit, I think.
Mavericks needing a hoop to go back in front. Off the drive, Jackson. Yes, sir. Jackson's got 25.
Great touch, great move by Jackson.
Albert Cheney off the drive against Mashburn. Spins in, hands it off in a crowd, knocked loose to Tarpley. The Mavericks the ball, a 2-point lead, and 3 minutes left in the overtime.
Keep that offensive pressure on, though. You can always pull it out and run the half-court stuff.
Jackson against Chapman. Rebound to Weber.
Ouch. Good shot, though. That's something they do well. That's where they wanted it.
Chapman for 3. Weber comes out to Skiles. This is Cheney, and he knocks out the 3, his second of the game.
Just that quickly, the Mavericks find themselves behind by 1.
2:20 left to go in the overtime.
They're running 3 down right now.
Kidd looking for Mashburn. And illegal defense whistled against Washington.
Legal defense.
It's on Duckworth. He's had that call twice tonight. Jim Jackson shooting for the tie.
Jim Jackson.
Jackson has started every game since he signed that contract a couple of years ago. He has not missed one.
Jackson brings the Mavericks even at 118. Now Dallas with a new 24. Kidd guarded by Skiles. Into Mashburn. Mashburn out to get it. They send two players after him. Jason Kidd swings the ball to Popeye Jones. And the rebound to Washington.
Good rotation of the ball, as normally happens. The second man in a rotation gets the shot.
Chris Webber guarded by Jones. Webber looking for room to operate. Rebound to Kidd. Mavericks come out looking for the lead. Jackson in on Chapman. Offensive foul on Jim Jackson. No basket.
Holy cow!
Needless to say, a call not well received here in Reunion Arena.
That's 3 calls by the same guy. My goodness.
He really cleared out.
Well, it's there, but if you're going to call that, why don't you make the call at the end of the game?
We'll be back in Reunion Arena after these messages. After this controversial play in which the official Jack Neese ruled that Jim Jackson pushed off with the left arm and thus an offensive foul, disallowing that basket.
Yeah, and that was Rex Chapman, and Chapman comes out of the timeout, walks by the official and says, nice call. I don't like that.
Skiles against Kidd. Cheney. Mashburn has him, 12 on the clock. Chapman had it knocked away, gets it back against Jackson. Duckworth against Tarpley, 5 to shoot. Duckworth throws it away. Mashburn a steal. So the Mavericks come back with 1:08 left in the overtime.
Washington does not get a shot with that possession. That's where you want to capitalize.
Shot clock at 10. Jason Kidd. Kidd makes contact. And the rebound to Washington. Jason Kidd was trying to draw the foul, looked like, on that attempt.
Well, the shot clock got to moving down on him.
Yep. 12 to shoot, 40 seconds left in the first overtime. Off the ball, a foul on Popeye Jones. That's the first in the last 2 minutes.
First in the last 2 minutes.
But it's the 5th foul on Popeye.
Popeye guarding Webber. Webber's going to move out on the floor, and you see Jones try to hang on to him a little bit. I'll tell you, the Mavericks get that call.
Shot clock at 20. Chapman. He's a cold-blooded shooter late in games. We talked about how well he shoots in the clutch. Washington a 2-point lead. The Mavericks are taking time. 120 to 118 Washington. If you fight through the pick, it's going to be hard to defend him. Here we go. Mavericks the ball. 5 difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Jackson against Chapman. Shot clock at 13. Mashburn under pressure. Rebound to Skiles. And now the Mavericks have to take a foul to stop the clock, and it puts Scott Skiles, a 90% free throw shooter, on the line, and Popeye Jones has fouled out.
Foul's on Jim Jackson.
Oh, it's on Jim Jackson. That's his third.
Penalty.
Mashburn did get a good shot, a very good shot. In fact, maybe too good a shot. There was no defensive pressure there at all. Watch Mashburn. Sometimes when you're this wide open, it does create problems. The defensive man went down. Mashburn did not have any defensive pressure. But boy, he sure made a big one at the end of regulation time. So
Washington's lead is 3.
Skiles is trying to tell the PA man to be quiet when he's at the line with the ball.
it's a 4-point advantage with 11.4 left. Timeout taken by the Mavericks, and we'll return after these messages.
That you can wait. The problem is that sometimes the guy going for the steal, if he misses it, he's not in position to commit the foul on the guy that gets the inbounds pass. You got to have the quick shot with very little time off the clock, and then look for the steal or commit the foul right now.
Out by Jones to make the inbounds pass. 11.4 left.
There's a delay of game.
Delay of game, warning, bullets.
And now they have a pretty good idea of where Kidd wanted to go. He was going to loop around. Jackson was going to come out. See, there it is.
Jackson with it. Jackson past Chapman, who takes the foul, and they had one to take.
That's a good job. Good play.
Second, first in the last 2 minutes.
9.3 left.
Mavericks will shoot the penalty on the next one.
Out by Jones. Inbounds knocked loose. Bullets have it. Up court, it's Weber when it comes down. He makes the catch and dunk, and this game is over. So it was a come from behind win by the road team tonight. That three by Mashburn. Is it a go? It is. Mashburn gets it.
Until Saturday night.
And so Jamal Mashburn with that basket finishes the night with 45. Washington, though, has the victory in overtime, 124-121.